All right, Grant Fisher, second place, Diamond League 3K, 300th of a second from the win there. Became a bit of a slow tactical race. Was that how you wanted it to go, or what was the thinking out there?
Wasn't quite what I expected, but you have to be ready for everything, you know. Originally, one of the athletes in the race requested 7:15 pace for the 3K, so well under world record pace, 2:25 through the K. That got pared back a little bit right before the race, and I think it became like 2:27, so like 7:20s low pace. And we went with it for like 2 laps, and then no one had interest in going. So I was confused why someone would request that pace and then not go with it. But yeah, it turned into kind of like a world championship type race where you know, you wanted to fight for a position the whole way. It was slow enough that people could move around a lot, and everyone was there with 200 to go, and just a scrap to the finish. And you know, I wanted that win. I've been second a few times at these Diamond Leagues, and to get a Diamond League final win right before the World Championships would have been really sweet. But you know, for your final race before Worlds, second at the Diamond League final, that's solid.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely the kind of race you want to be running at this time of year, just to kind of get in that sort of race practice for that final kick in the 5 and the 10. So what's the plan now, you know, ahead of Tokyo?
The plan now, I'm going back to altitude after this. We've got like a good 2.5, 3 weeks before championships start up. So, you know, honestly, there's not much time to do a ton of training. Just a bit more heat prep, because it's going to be much hotter in Tokyo than it was here, and a little bit of sharpening prep, and just some taper time. You know, might have room for 1 more hard workout, maybe 2. The rest will just be kind of fluff, just stuff so I can feel good for Tokyo.
And what does heat prep involve? Is that sauna, or is that you running in heat suit, or are you doing anything else?
It's all the above. You know, the best thing you can do to adapt to any condition is to simulate it as accurately as it's going to be. So in Tokyo, it's going to be hot and humid. Sauna stuff is good, but that's kind of passive heat. You know, you kind of want to have some running in the heat, you know, so try to be in hot environments. If you're not in a hotter environment, put on a rain suit and try to create like a hot, humid environment around yourself. It's kind of torturous, or, you know, go on a treadmill and just close all the windows and crank the heat, stuff like that. So as close to simulation as you can, because I raced in Tokyo in 21, and that was the hottest conditions I've ever been in to this day. So need to prepare, which I've been doing, but you know, this is just the final touches now.
And in terms of Tokyo, you must have a lot of confidence. You know, after last year, you know, obviously you got the 2 medals, chapter guy's not coming back, Jakob's health is a bit uncertain. There's a lot of open like questions. You know, the silver medalist in the 5K is not there either. Like, you know, there's gaps there at the top to be, you know. So how do you feel like looking at the fields as you go out there?
Yeah, I feel confident. You know, you just can race whoever shows up on the day. So whether Jakob's at his best or not, or if Cheptegei changes his mind all of a sudden and shows up, you know, you just have to be ready to go. And, you know, for every Cheptegei that moves to the roads, there's 5 new guys that pop up. So whether, you know, it's other Ugandan athletes or other American athletes, you know, other European athletes, it only gets harder. There's more and more depth every year. So, yeah, you just prepare as best as you can. You can't build a race plan or a mindset around racing one person, because there's multiple guys that can compete for the win. So, yeah, you have to be pretty well-rounded.
And obviously Tokyo in 2021 was a very different experience. Is there anything you're particularly looking forward to this time out?
You know, Tokyo in 21 feels like kind of a dream/nightmare situation where you're like, man, did that really happen? Yeah, it'll be fun to have, you know, a crowd, have my family and friends there, actually be able to set foot in Tokyo this time. You know, just have that redo of an experience, because, you know, Tokyo, or Japan in general, loves distance running, which is really cool. They've got a great culture there, and so it's one of the few countries, I think, where they're going to watch the whole 10K and enjoy it. So it'll be fun to race and have a kind of a redo of the Olympics, you know, have that same environment in the same stadium, and be able to appreciate, you know, what a global championship should be.
All right, well, best of luck for it, and see you out there.
Yeah, thanks, man.